Hey everybody, another replay here from Cippalippus, this time in the M41. Now, since my own attempt at showing how the autoloader on this tank works was marred by both test server pubbies and hideous lag issues, this can be a good stand-in. This is an actual good player playing the M41 with the autoloader. Personally, I still prefer the other gun, but this match is a good example of what somebody who knows how to use it can do with this thing. Straight away he begins heading to the west, looking to get onto the hill before the enemy mediums can intercept him, assuming they go that way. The enemy doesn't actually have particularly fast mediums, so the light tanks are more likely to be a problem, including T-54 lightweight and an LTTB, which is already up there. Now the LTTB might have good frontal armor for a light tank, but it's not going to stop Cippalippus from just taking it apart. However, its gun does cause quite a lot of pain. That's an 85mm gun, it hurts other light tanks. The Leopard helps out, and so Cippalippus is now in a good position to start putting out damage and putting out spots. Unfortunately, the game is running like absolute dog shit. I am not sure why. It should have been fine. So apologies if it turns into a bit of a slideshow in places. It was doing it when I watched the replay through as well, so it's not just the recording doing it. I have no idea what's wrong with the game. Cippalippus pushes through to get shots on the Type 62. He's trying to find his gun depression, and there it is. And as soon as he comes off reload, he can put some shots into that guy. But he seems to have backed off. He holds his gun that direction for a little while just to see if it gets respotted, before refocusing his attention on this push down at the bottom of the hill. No shots on the ISU, it doesn't have line of sight to him either. Anyway, let's see if this helps. Type 62 definitely got hit by him, but it's moved by now. And these two mediums decide to drive up in front of Cippalippus' gun. He goes for the practically unarmored Type 61 and is able to put quite a few hits into it. Why the fuck is this running so badly? Holy shit. Well, if my other replay of this tank with the autoloader was marred by lag, this one is marred by the game being a fucking piece of shit. I suspect it may be something to do with the sound mod taking up too much memory again. Either way, at least you can still see what's going on. The E75 is being completely useless. Cippalippus sees an opportunity here on the T57. His first shot goes wide, but the 57 is thankfully an idiot and is actually afraid of a tier 8 medium tank. It's backing away from it. It could just dive in there and clip it. I guess maybe the T57's reloading or something. But then he indecisively reverses, drives forwards, reverses again, and it lets Cippalippus clip him, and he catches fire. And he doesn't have a fire extinguisher either. He's burning for the full duration. So because he couldn't just either make up his mind to go forwards or reverse into cover, that T-57 just lost 990 hit points. A tier 10 heavy loses 990 hit points to a tier 7 light tank. That's shameful. That's really shameful. That guy should probably sell all his tier 10s and never play them again. Like, I will be quite strong in my judgment of that. If that happens to you, you shouldn't be playing tier 10s at all, period. That's just terrible play. I could understand if the light tank got in and circled you, but that was just being sniped by a light tank and reversing into the open and sitting where it could shoot you even more, and not carrying a fire extinguisher on the tier 10 heavy. It's just everything was wrong with that. Anyway, while the remaining tanks on Cippalippus' team begin to push towards the enemy cap, he's able to sneak a quick shot to the side of the E4 before getting relit. And then he begins working the hill, trying to find a better position to fire from where he won't be as easy to pop. Just in case one of those tanks he's firing at slides its gun around to shoot him instead of one of the heavy tanks driving towards it. T-57's relit and finally put out of his misery. At least he picked an appropriate clan to be in. The usefulness of the hill has just about reached its end, so Cippalippus decides to shift off of it, heads back through his own base, looking for angles on the enemy tanks. Here he's got shots on both the Waffle and the IS-7. He takes one at the Waffle before focusing the IS-7. The Waffle has a scarier gun, but the IS-7 has much stronger armor. With 6 shots still up, he looks for another chance, but the IS-7's behind the train and the Waffles run away. There's no point staying in this position, so he begins to shift west to deal with the Waffle, but of course taking the long way around this rock so as to avoid giving broadside to the enemy. First shot goes wide somehow, but he's able to finish the Waffle off before it can traverse its turret around to deal with him. And with that taken care of, the only enemy left is the T-69, who is likely to be dealt with by his teammates. He's sitting at 4,800 damage on the counter, but he got at least one blind shot in, so it's probably closer to 5,000. Two kills, both on tier 10s. In fact, the vast majority of that damage went down on tier 10s because of that stupid T-57. So that's pretty impressive. And that's why you can't leave a good player alive in a light tank. It just ends very badly for you. So although I do still prefer the normal gun, the autoloader is quite good for just dumping clips into people. You only get a slight advantage in the time between shots. The regular gun has about a 3-second reload, the autoloader has 2 seconds between shots, but the regular gun obviously balances that out by not having to reload for 30 odd seconds every 10 shots. The autoloader also has slightly worse turret bloom, so if you want to be more accurate with your snapshots, go for the regular gun. But like I said, if you do know what you're doing with autoloading tanks, this gun is just monstrous. I know Hardest prefers it as well, because I've actually had an argument with him over which gun is better for the tank. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I wish you the best of luck in the field, and I'll see you next time.